Jumbo, fellow adventurers, how's it going? Good morning, at least morning here in Orlando, Florida. So glad to be with you on another spiritual tune-up. Many of you asked great questions again yesterday. I want to get to all of them. Please continue to post and repost if I haven't answered your question yet. I'm answering questions from below, posted on Facebook or Instagram. So if you got a question, I need talking points. Yesterday, somebody asked a question about, did I manifest my wife or was that an accident? And somebody else said, yeah, good question. I want to know. So, I'm like Tamatoa, the crab in Moana. I love to talk about myself. So, if you will indulge me, I will tell you about meeting my wife and manifestation versus accident. But I first want to tell you that I did speak in a 4-part spiritual tune-up in May about attracting the right person, dealing with breakups, what to do when adversity arises in a relationship. Go look at the directory in Facebook or Instagram for May 1, 2020, and you'll hear more about relationships. And of course, I understand not everybody wants a relationship, but I'm speaking to those now who do, and or who are curious how I got mine going. And of course, if you're not into a relationship right now, what I'm about to share with you, the mechanics of which will apply to whatever you could possibly want to manifest. So, I'm always a bit annoyed when I do live events and somebody says, oh, you talked a lot about abundance. It's like, or something. It's like everything I share with regard to logistics, mechanics, and how to deliberately manifest works for whatever you want. Tangible, intangible, ethereal, spiritual, confidence, service, love, money. Just switch out the examples and the same principles apply. So here we go. Everything that happens in life, I think is a manifestation. There's zero exceptions. The only distinction is, were they intentional or were they unintended? Intended or unintended? That's the only distinction. But nevertheless, they're all manifestations. So the answer is, I manifested my wife as she manifested me. It was kind of a co-creation. And while I would like to say it was an overnight, success of my manifesting skills, I didn't meet her until I was 48. I don't even look 48 now, thanks to the love in my life. But, that was 11 years ago. So I had never been married, mostly single, usually desperate. So I can relate to almost anybody's path. So what did I do over all those decades to successfully manifest a woman who I truly adore? Well, I'm going to tell you the obvious. I visualized. I affirmed. I examined my beliefs from time to time. I wrote down, do I think I'm worthy? Do I think relationships are a good thing? Are they spiritual? Am I ready? And I would look at my beliefs. I acted with faith, like I knew it was inevitable. I demonstrated. I would buy my future girlfriend some perfume, even though I didn't have a girlfriend. I would buy tickets to an event for 2 people, even though I had nobody to go with. And usually, this created sparks and magic in my life at the time, and there was girlfriends and women who showed up. But this was an accumulation. I did on my vision boards, scrapbooks. I never did one just for relationships, but there would always be, some prospective types on my vision board, looking at me, and I'd be like talking to her. And I made myself available. I took baby steps. I was out there in the world. I signed up for internet dating. It was not fun. Now, you don't have to do all those things, but every one of those things adds power, okay? Every one of those things brings clarity. Every one of those things puts you out there, makes you a lightning rod for serendipities. But do not stress out. In these areas that I just enumerated, there is so much wiggle room. There's so much leeway. Divine intelligence will connect the dots. Here, I'm about to tell you what else occurred in my life that I believe made the difference in me going from desperate and dateless to a 12-year relationship, 9 of which we've been married, and truly fulfilling and one of the best things that's ever happened in my whole life. First, okay, there's 4 things. Number 1, you got to really care and want to be in an amazing relationship. And you don't have to. You can be happy and you can grow spiritually. You can walk on water without a partner. But if you want one, you got to really want one. So I don't think anybody asking needs to be told that, but that's critical. Number 2, really important, I had no expectations. I had desires as to the type of person, as to, characteristics, leanings, traits, inclinations, but no expectations, and I was totally open. I had no requirements, but lots of ideas, no insistence on anything. And would you believe the woman I met at a conference where I was speaking with Don Miguel Ruiz in Mexico, a woman who was wearing headphones because she didn't speak a word of English, nor did I speak a word of Spanish. I really thought there's no way that could go anywhere. But we stayed in touch. We took pictures. I was back in Mexico for other events and other reasons. And we've drawn the conclusion that not speaking the other's language is solid gold in a relationship. Okay, this is a good thing. And she speaks great English today, and we still get along. We still love each other. But very weird, huh? And it's totally unexpected. No attachments. And I can tell you, when I was single and moving towards the vision of a relationship, I would never say, can't be this, won't settle for that. Of course you want respect and love. I mean, those go without saying, but you can have desires, preferences. I would love her to be a great cook in the kitchen. But, don't insist on anything. Because for every item you insist upon on your menu list of the person of your wildest dreams, you eliminate millions, if not billions, of contenders. Don't do that. There's a person out there for you if you're single and you want to be in a relationship who will exceed your every wildest expectation and surprise you with characteristics you didn't know you wanted, but you got them and you love them. Okay, so number 1, there's got to be a real desire. Number 2, you got to be open. You can have preferences and you can write them down and you can visualize them, but be open. Number 3, and this is maybe the most overlooked thing I experience in meeting people who ask questions like this: diversify your life. Do not put your happiness nor anything else in your life on hold until you find the one. Okay, because you will perhaps wait forever. You will obsess on the absence of your partner in your life. You will feel broken and flawed, and you're not going to be in a very strong, attracting position if you feel so incomplete for this one reason and you've put your entire life on hold. Now, everybody can nod to that, but are you living your life on every front with friends, maintaining your health, maintaining your appearance, doing your best at your work, pushing your comfort zones, growing as a person in every way, being of service, opening your heart and mind, learning new things? You're watching this tune-up, so you're doing something really good. But the diversification of one's life takes so much pressure away from that one thing you desperately want. And people obsess on relationships when they want one and don't have one, and they obsess on money when they want it but don't have it, to the degree that other areas of their life suffer, and it's those other areas of their life that could have been the vehicle through which a relationship or abundance would come and find you. So by all means, diversify, live a great life, go have fun now. Which brings me to the 4th thing, attitude. I've always felt and always said, and now remember, I didn't meet the lady I'd marry until I was 48. And so for all of my adult years from 20 to 48, which is a number of them, I truly felt, while I always wanted a relationship, I always wanted a lifetime relationship, I always said, if I find her, fantastic. And if I don't find her, fantastic. And if I have kids, fantastic. And if I never have kids, fantastic. That removes so much stress, and it puts you on the seat of finding joy now without that thing you want. Now, this applies to all manifestations. It puts you in a place of responsibility to find joy now without that thing you want. And you know what happens when you find joy without it? You attract it 10 times faster. So those 4 things: desire, you already got that. No attachments, insistence, or expectations. Diversify your life. Don't put anything off, at least not your happiness, and find happiness without it so that you can attract it. Thanks for asking the question. Be sure to check out May 1, where I talked about this and more elements of a relationship. There was a 4-part, 4 days in a row on relationships. Thanks for your interactions. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for the wind under my wings. Get notes from the universe if you don't have them. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Wednesday. Adios, Facebook, Elizabeth, Martine, Alexandra. Again, thanks there for always being there, Alexandra. Santosh, Johan. Besos. Besos forever and ever and